أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu and welcome to our class today. I hope and pray that you are all doing very well and keeping safe. Please make sure that you are abiding by the class rules and etiquettes by making sure that you are logged in with the correct ID. Please also make sure that you do not turn your videos on by accident or intentionally, as that does disturb the screen in front of us and it is very disturbing for everybody else too. Okay, please also make sure that you're sitting with your heads covered and that you are sitting in a nice and quiet place with no background noise behind you so that when you're called to the mic, we can all hear you clearly. Okay, and please also ensure that you listen out carefully for your ID because if you do not reply to our invitation to the mic, then we will have to move on swiftly. Okay. So the agenda for today's class is in front of your screens. We will begin shortly with the opening dua for today's class. We will then move on to looking at the rule in focus for today's class. Then we will be going on to our practice text for the day, and we will be looking at a new surah, new chapter of the Holy Quran in today's class. We will also be looking at the letter of the day as usual. And then, of course, we will end the class with our normal procedure of assigning homework and doing the end dua. So please make sure that you stay in the class right till the end. We will begin with dua. If we could please have a student on the mic.
G2 235.
G2 235. Assalamu alaikum. G2 235. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'll move on. G2 235.
Hello,
Assalamu alaikum.
I'm G2235.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Jazakumullah for coming on the mic. How are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Okay, so we will do this dua that's in front of you. So I'd like you to repeat after me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا
اللهم عني أسألك علما نافعا.
Okay, excellent. Well done. Really good attempt. At the end over here, we're going to say fi'a. Good. Well done. And can you read the translation for me now?
Oh Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
Well done. And this is, yeah, go on.
In Ibn Majah, H10 925.
Okay, well done. Ibn Majah, hadith number 925. Excellent. Well done. Jazakumullah for your participation for that. Okay. Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz. So what we're going to do now is we will now move on to our rule of the day. Okay? And I want you all to listen very carefully to what our rule is for today's class, as we will be applying it from today onwards. Okay? So the rule in focus for today's class is nasalization. Okay, so it's a new terminology that we're learning today, nasalization. Nasalization is an English term. Okay, so nasalization is the English term, and in Arabic, nasalization is called ghunna. Okay, so nasalization is English, ghunna is Arabic. So So it's really important that you know both of those words so that whenever we refer to this rule, and if I say nasalization or if I say ghunna, then you should realize that those are both exactly the same thing. However, nasalization is in English and ghunna is the Arabic term for this. Ghunna is made on mim mushaddad and noon mushaddad. Okay, so mim mushaddad is when a mim has a shadda on it. Noon mushaddad is when noon has a shadda on it. Okay, so ghunna is made when mim or the letter noon have a shadda on top of them. So a shadda is that small W looking sign that you see on top of letters. Okay, so that's a shadda. Ghunna is a sustained nasal sound. So a nasal sound is a sound that you make from your nose, okay? And sustained means to hold something, okay? So hold that nasal sound in your nose. That is ghunna, okay? Ghunna must not be less than 2 seconds. So the sound of ghunna, or the sound of that nasal sound, must be held in your nose for at least 2 seconds, okay? So timing is really, really important in this rule as well. Now, to make the sound of ghunna and to realize that this is the rule of ghunna, we must do the same exact steps as we do with any mushaddad letter. Okay, so you've covered in Monday's class and also yesterday's class, you've learned what a mushaddad letter is, and you've learned the steps for joining a mushaddad letter to the vowel letter before it. Okay, so in today's class, we're looking at the same exact steps, but to produce the sound of ghunna and to apply the rule of nasalization, we will do one extra check. Okay, so that one extra check is what we are looking at, especially in today's class. So, as has just been said, ghunna should be applied when you see mim mushaddad or noon mushaddad appear in the Quranic text. Okay, so mim mushaddad is highlighted and circled over here for you in this first example. You can see it's a mim mushaddad because it is the letter mim with a shadda on top. So this is mim mushaddad. So a ghunna will be applied over here. Okay, noon mushaddad is circled in this example over here. So noon with a shadda. So this is noon mushaddad. And again, ghunna, the rule of ghunna will be applied. Rule of nasalization will be applied here. So just to remind you all of those steps of the steps that you've already looked at, but like I said, in today's class, we're looking at one extra step in that process, okay? So mushaddad letter is a letter carrying a shadda, okay? So for example, over here, noon is a mushaddad letter because it's carrying a shadda. A voweled letter is a letter carrying a stroke. Again, you already looked at this before. A voweled letter, for example, over here, this za, the letter za, is a voweled letter because it has a dhamma on it. A mushaddad letter joins to the most recent voweled letter. Again, you already know this step because you looked at it previously. Make sure that when you're joining those two letters together, you sound both the voweled letter and the mushaddad letter together. Okay? Now, this is the extra step that comes in whilst we're looking at the rule of nasalization, okay? We must check that is that mushaddad letter in the text, is it a mim mushaddad or is it a noon mushaddad? Okay, so that's the question we have to ask ourselves. That in our recitation, is it a mim mushaddad or is it a noon mushaddad? If the answer to that question is yes, then we must produce a ghunna sound for not less than 2 seconds. So we must produce a ghunna sound that is held in our nose for at least 2 seconds. Okay, now if the answer to that question is no, then we must carry on with our rule as usual of mushaddad letters, and we must emphasize the mushaddad letter, making sure not to rush through the sound of the letter. Okay, So, like I've just said to you, the extra step is over here when you have to check that is the word, in the word, is there a mim mushaddad or a noon mushaddad? And if there is a mim mushaddad or a noon mushaddad, then we have to make a gunna sound that is held in our nose for 2 seconds. Okay, so in this example over here, these are 2 examples from the Holy Quran. Let's have a look at this first word over here. We can see in red that there is a mim mushaddad. And we know that whenever there is a mim mushaddad, we have to make a gunna sound, which we have to hold in our nose for 2 seconds. So how I would pronounce this is as follows. To join these 2 letters together, I would say imma. I'm holding the mim sound in my nose before letting it go to produce the fatha sound. Imma. One more time. Imma. Okay, all together this is immatan. The next example is over here, and this is of noon mushaddad. Okay, this is a noon mushaddad because it's a noon with the shadda on top. So when I join this za with the noon, I have to hold the nasal sound, the noon sound in my nose for at least 2 seconds before letting it go to produce the dhamma sound. So this will be pronounced as zunnu, zunnu. I'm holding the noon sound as I join it to the za and then letting it go to produce the dhamma sound. La azunnuhu, la azunnuhu. Okay, so those are just 2 examples from the Holy Quran where the gunna sound should be pronounced. So what we'll do is we'll quickly go and practice some more examples from the Holy Quran where the nasal sound should be made. If you just bear with me for one moment. Okay, so we have some more examples in the on your screen in front of you where the rule of nasalization should be applied. Okay, so if you could please have a student on the mic to go through these examples with me.
G2241.
Jazakumullah. G2241. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. So are you understanding the rule and focus for today's class?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of these examples and we're going to highlight where the noon or mim mushaddad is, and then we're going to have a look at the correct pronunciation of that gunna sound, okay? So in this example over here, can you tell me, do we have a mim mushaddad or a noon mushaddad?
Mim mushaddad.
Yes, excellent. So it's highlighted in red for us to make it easy for us to stand out. So mim mushaddad we have over here. Mim with a shadda, mim mushaddad. Now what's the rule? If we see mim mushaddad, what do we have to do?
You make a hard sound with it.
Yep, excellent. We make a hard sound to join the ha to the mim. And then one more thing we have to do.
Pronounce it for 2 seconds.
Yes, pronounce the nasal sound for 2 seconds, okay? The gunna sound. So this sound will be mim gunna sound, okay? So we will say hummi.
Hummi.
Excellent, well done. Holding that mim sound in our nose for 2 seconds and then letting it go to produce the kasra sound, okay? Excellent. So altogether this will be hummilat.
Hummilat.
Good, well done. Okay, slightly bit longer. Hold the nasal sound, okay? Hummilat.
Hummilat.
Excellent, well done. Let's carry on to the next example. Now in this word over here, can you tell me if there are mim mushaddad or a noon mushaddad?
Noon mushaddad.
Excellent, well done. So we can see we have a noon with a shadda. So this is noon mushaddad, which means we have to join the previous vowel letter, which is ta, to the noon, we have to hold the noon ghunna sound in our nose for 2 seconds before letting it go to produce the vertical fatha sound as well. Okay, so just joining these two letters together, we would say tanna.
Tanna.
Excellent, well done. So 2 seconds holding the nasal sound and then 2 seconds letting it go to produce the vertical fatha sound. Fatannaka.
Fatannaka.
Excellent, well done. Now in this example over here, we can see we have a noon ghunna, a noon mushaddad. Okay, so that's why we have to produce a noon ghunna sound. So altogether, this will be yasuddannaka.
Yasuddannaka.
Excellent, well done. So you held that nasal sound in your nose for 2 seconds and then you let it go to produce the fatha sound. Excellent. Now over here in this last example, we have a meme mushaddad. Yes, meme with a shadda. So that means we will have to produce a meme ghunna sound. Okay, so we will say yummy.
Yummy.
Excellent. Al yummy.
Al yummy.
Excellent. Well done. Really nicely read. So we have to be careful over here not to just read it simply by saying yummy. We have to hold that meme sound, meme ghunna sound in our nose for 2 seconds at least before letting it go. Okay, so we're going to say yummy. Okay, so well done. Really, really good. G2241. Jazakumullah for your help and for your participation.
Thank you. Bye.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we will move on to our surah for the day. And the surah that we will be covering in today's class is Surah At-Tariq. And this is chapter number 86 of the Holy Quran. It has a total of 18 verses. And this surah in particular was revealed to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Makkah. Okay, so that's a few examples, a few facts about the surah that we will be covering in today's class. Okay, so the surah is in front of your screens now, and as you can see, there are some parts of the surah that I've highlighted for you, and you might be able to notice that these are all places in the surah where the rule of ghunna, the rule of nasalization, is to be applied. Okay, so as you can see, there is noon ghunna over here, meme ghunna should be applied over here, meme ghunna applied over here as well. Okay, so and several more examples in the surah, but we will go through it one by one as we read through it. Okay, so the format for today's recitation will be the same as always. We will begin with Dawood and Tasmiyah. We will have a student on the mic. I will recite the verse first. Then I would like you to please read Dawood and Tasmiyah nice and slowly with a nice melody, and then read the verse behind me, okay? Making sure that we are remembering all the rules we have learned so far as we recite. So let's start with our first student. Could we have our first student on the mic?
Can I quickly make an announcement? There are duplicate IDs in the class. Every child who is officially registered on the course had a unique ID. So these duplicate IDs will be placed in the waiting room. They need to rename with the correct ID. And if they do not know their correct ID, they need to contact the in charge. Jazakumullah. The first student is G2184.
Jazakumullah. G2184. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today?
मैं ठीक हूँ, आप कैसी है?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I'm very well. And are you understanding the rule that we've just covered?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Dawood and Tasmiyah and read this first verse, okay? Now, in this first verse, we have to remember and take care of all the rules we've learnt so far. So remembering our short strokes. So, for example, this Hamza has a kasra underneath it, which means that we will only give this kasra a 1 second timing. Okay, we have also places where we have to stretch longer than 1 second. For example, we have alif mud over here because it's an alif and the letter before has a fatha. Okay, over here as well. This is a sign we haven't yet covered in class, but we have to stretch our sound over here for at least 5 seconds. Okay, so nice deep breath as we say this. So I will start with Dawud and Tasmiyah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, so I'll just, no problem. I'll do the verse first and then I will ask you to say all in one go as well, okay? So just listen out for this verse. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. So I'd like you to read Dawud and Tasmiyah nice and slowly and read the verse as I just read it.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء والطارق.
Excellent. Well done, mashallah. Really impressed with the way that you held this sound for at least 5 seconds, which was really, really good. I know it's difficult to do, but you did really well, okay? Now over here, remember this ta has a shadda on top. So we have to join the previous voweled letter, which is vowel, to this with force, okay? What ta.
What?
Excellent. And then when you end the sound over here, just follow my lead as I say it, okay? Riql.
Rick.
Okay, slight a jerk sound at the end, okay? Riql.
Rick.
Good, well done, okay? Now this is a rule that you haven't learned for now, but inshallah we will be covering it in future classes. So for now, just know that at the end over here, we have to produce a jerk sound as we end it, okay? So one more time, could you read this?
والسماء والطارق.
Good, well done. But make sure that over here, we're only stretching the sa sound for 1 second because of the fatha, okay? Wassa.
Wassa.
Excellent. And holding this sound for 5 seconds. But well done, okay? Keep practicing that sound. Let's move on to the next verse now. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقُ.
وما أدراك ما الطارق.
Good, well done. Really good attempt, okay? So over here, this is where you got slightly stuck. Over here, remember that these are letters that you have to ignore in your recitation. So you covered this in yesterday's class with your teacher, where you learnt that with the mushaddad letter, we have to join it to the most recent voweled letter. And the most recent voweled letter in this case is the meme with the fatha. So we must ignore these 3 letters over here, okay?
Yeah.
So we would say mattariq.
Mattariq.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, well done. So in this verse over here, just to point it out, over here we have to stretch our sound for at least 3 seconds. Over here we would have to stretch our sound for at least for 2 seconds only because of the vertical fatha. And then we have short strokes like over here, this is a short stroke. Over here, this was a short stroke, so we only spent 1 second on it. Over here, we have alif mud, so we stretch the sound out of ta for 2 seconds. Okay, so those are rules that we applied in this verse over here. Let's carry on. Now, in this verse over here, the first thing I've highlighted is this noon mushaddad. Okay, can you tell me why I've highlighted this?
Because there's a shadda on top of it.
Yeah, so what does that mean? What sound do I have to make?
Gunna.
Yes, well done. Gunna sound, and how long do I have to hold that sound for?
1 second.
You sure? Have a
No,
think.
2 seconds.
Yes, at least 2 seconds, okay? So I have to hold that noon sound, nasal sound in my nose for 2 seconds, okay? Then of course, as we carry on, we also have an alif mud after this. So we have to elongate our sound for 2 seconds over here as well, okay? So I'm going to say this verse. Please repeat after me. النجم الثاقب. Okay, so when we, okay, so I know this doesn't have a stroke on it, but when we join it to this noon, and you learn later on why, this just simply has a fatha. Okay, so we'd say an-naj.
An-naj.
Carry on.
Musaqib.
Excellent, well done. One more time. An-najmu thaqib.
An-najmu saqib.
Qib.
Qib.
Well done. Excellent. So just like we made that sound over here and over here, we have to make a jerk sound over here as well. And like I said, inshallah, you will learn about that later on in class. Okay? So well done. Excellent. And one more verse with yourself over here. We're going to say, we are going to remember our short strokes over here. On top of the lam, we have a dhamma. So we have to give a 1 second timing to this. Then we also have a mim mushaddad over here. Yes, mim mushaddad means a mim ghunna sound needs to be made. So when we say this, we have to hold the mim sound in our nose for 2 seconds at least. And then when we let it go, we also have an alif mud after it. Okay, this is alif mud. So we have to stretch that sound out for 2 seconds as well. Over here, we also have an alif mud. Over here, also an alif mud. So we have to take care of the 2 second timing that we have to apply over here. Okay, so I will say this verse. إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ.
إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ.
Okay, good. Well done. Really good attempt. Okay, just a few things to look out for over here. Remember, lam has a shadda, but it also has a dhamma on top. Okay, dhamma will only produce a sound for 1 second. So this would be in kullu.
إن كل
Kullu.
كل
Excellent. And this one over here will be nafsil lamma.
نفس ما نفس لما.
Excellent. Well done. And then over here we have 2 letters with an alif mad after them. So we have to stretch both for 1 second each. Okay, so well done. Excellent. Really good try, mashallah. And you read really nicely. Keep practicing, okay?
Okay.
Well done. Jazakumullah for your help and participation. If you can move on to our next student.
G2 185.
G2 185. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you today?
Good.
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. Okay, so we will be starting from this verse over here where it's highlighted, okay? And in this verse over here, we have to look out for our short strokes. So for example, this has a dhamma on it, so we only produce a sound for 1 second over here. This noon has a dhamma on it as well. Only 1 second should be given over here. This has a dhamma, 1 second again. Lam has a kasra, 1 second sound should be applied over here. Okay, now over here we also have some letters of mud. So alif mud over here after the scene. So we're stretching that sound out for 2 seconds. Okay, so just a few examples to be careful of. So just before you start, I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to ask you to carry on after me. Okay, one more thing I've highlighted over here is this mim mushaddad. Okay, can you tell me why I've highlighted this?
I think that's because it has the W sign.
Yes, it has the shadda sign, yes? And whenever meme has the shadda on it, we have to produce a meme gunna sound, which we have to hold in our nose for 2 seconds. So that's something we have to be careful of as well. Okay, so let's start from here. We're going to say فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ. So starting with ta'awudh and tasmiyah first.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما وما لا increase me فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق.
Good, well done, excellent. Over here, just remember, because it's a meme gunna sound that we have to make, we have to remember to hold it in our nose for 2 seconds, okay? So we have to say mimma.
Mimma.
Excellent, okay, well done. Now in this verse as well, we have 2 places where we have a noon sakin, okay? We have a noon sakin over here, and we have a noon sakin over here. So our rule that we've learnt previously always tells us that whenever we see a noon sakin, we have to look at the next letter and we have to see if it's a letter of the throat. Okay, so whenever we see this noon sakin, we have to see the next letter. So the next letter after this noon sakin, can you tell me what letter it is?
Za.
Yes, the letter za. Okay, now can you tell me, is this letter za a letter of the throat?
No.
No, excellent. Well done. Yes, za is not one of the throat letters. So what that means is that we don't have to apply the rule of clear pronunciation that we've learned before. Okay, so that's why we've said this as young, like that. Okay, inshallah, you will learn about it later as well, but it's really important that you're still looking at the letter after. Okay, and in this noon sakin over here, can you tell me the next letter seen, is that a letter of the throat?
No.
Excellent, well done. So let's have a look at the letter of the throats again. So the letter of the throats are 7. Ghain, Kha, Ain, Ha, Alif, Hamza, and Ha. So none of the things that we looked at in this verse, none of the noon sakins, the following letters after that, none of them are the letters of the throat. So that means we don't have to apply the rule of the clear pronunciation as we've learned before. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out as well as we are reciting. So let's move on to the next verse. So please repeat after me. خُلِقَ مِن مَاءٍ دَافِقٍ.
خُلِقَ من ماء دافق.
Okay, good. Really good attempt, mashallah. Well done. Over here, I've highlighted this meme because it's a meme mushaddad. Okay, and as we just saw previously as well, meme mushaddad means that we have to produce a meme gunna sound, which we have to hold for 2 seconds. Okay, so we would say mimma.
Mimma.
Okay, well done. But before you stretch the ma sound out for at least 5 seconds because of this sign over here, we have to hold the meme sound in our nose for at least 2 seconds before we stretch. Okay, so listen out carefully. Mimma.
Mimma.
Okay, good. Much, much better. Okay, just practice this with me. Mim.
Mim.
Good, well done. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to say that first and then let it go by saying the ma sound out. Okay, Mimma. Excellent. Well done. Much, much better. Okay. Now remember over here, this is dal and with the alif mud after that as well. Okay. So we have to stretch for 2 seconds over here as well. Okay. Dafiq. Good. Excellent. Well done. Let's carry on to the next verse now. يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب.
يخرج من بين صلب والترائب.
Good. Well done. Excellent. Now over here, remember, can you tell me what letter this is?
Rain.
Okay. Now this is the letter kha. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. The ghain, I'm going to try and find another. I don't think there's any place in this verse where, in this surah where there's a ghain, but remember that this is a kha. Okay, it's a kha because of this long shape over here with the dot on top. So it can be confusing with the ghain, but we have to remember that this is a kha. Okay, yakhruju.
يخرج.
Well done. Now this small meme over here means that we have to join this meme to this meme sakin, okay? So the noon will not be pronounced, it will be the meme that's pronounced. So we're saying mim bay.
من بين.
Excellent. Well done. Mashallah, well done. Really nicely read. And just keep practicing your rules that you've learned before and practice the letters as well, okay? So you don't get confused. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Well done. Jazakumullah for your participation. So before we carry on to the next student, I'm just going to quickly go and have a look at our letter of the day, which is this letter over here. Okay, now the letter is pronounced as tha. Okay, so we have to hold it for 5 seconds. Tha. So this letter over here, it has 3 dots and it can join to the letter before it and to the letter after it, as you can see over here. Okay, and the correct pronunciation of this letter is by taking the tip of your tongue. Okay, so everybody try this at home. Take the tip of your tongue. It comes out of your mouth slightly, and you should softly touch it to the top of your to your upper teeth. Okay, so your top teeth. So tha. Okay, so it shouldn't be a sa sound. It should be a th. Th. Okay, tha. So as you can see, the letter can join onto the letter after it. It changes shape slightly from its original form because only the first half of the letter is taken and then joined onto the letter after, but the 3 dots remain the same. They still stay on top of the letter. In the middle of 2 words, th looks like this. So again, you have a line that joins it to the previous letter. Then you have this pointed bit over here, and then it goes down again to join onto the next letter. The 3 dots stay on top as always. And then at the end of the word, the letter th looks like this. It takes its original shape and it looks like this. Okay, so that's the letter of the day, and it's really important that you understand the correct pronunciation of the letter. Okay, so one more time, everybody repeat after me. Tha. Okay, we're taking the tip of our tongue and touching it to our top teeth. Tha. Okay, so it's really, really important that you keep practicing these letters of the day that we're doing because it's really important that we are able to pronounce them correctly. Okay, so let's now go back to our surah of the day. And if you can have another student on the mic, please.
G2186.
Jazakumullah. G2186. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today?
I'm fine, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. So we're starting from here where we left off. Now in this verse over here, the first thing I've highlighted is this noon mushaddad. Can you tell me why I've highlighted this?
Because it's a ghanna.
A gunna sound should be made. Excellent. Well done. So I have to hold the sound. So if you repeat after me, inna.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن.
Excellent. Well done. So we're holding the noon sound, okay? And then over here, after that, we have the letter ha with an inverted dhamma, which means we have to stretch that sound out for 2 seconds. The ayn has a fatha, 1 second timing. Lam has a vertical fatha, 2 second timing. Ayn, kasra, 1 second timing. Ha has a vertical kasra, 2 second timing. Lam has a fatha, and after the qaf, we have a alif mad, which means a 2 second timing needs to be given over here. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown of how we're going to recite this verse correctly. So repeat after me. إنه على رجعه لقادر.
إنه على رجعه لقادر.
Excellent. Well done. Really nicely read, mashallah. Your pronunciation, your timing was perfect. Just one thing over here, this qaf is a thick and heavy sounding letter, okay? So we're going to say laqadir.
لقادر.
Excellent. Well done. Let's carry on. Now in this example, in this verse over here, Meme has a fatha, so 1 second timing. Then over here, we have to stretch for at least 5 seconds. Okay, so nice and deep breath as we say this. Okay, so those are timings that we have to be careful of in this verse. So we're going to say, يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ.
يوم تبلى السرائر.
Excellent. Well done, mashallah. But 5 seconds at least for this. I know it's difficult as you're saying it to catch your breath and be able to produce such a long sound, but inshallah with practice it will get better. But try this for 5 seconds, okay?
Okay.
Well done. And let's carry on. We're going to say فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَلَا نَاصِرٍ.
فما له من قوة ولا ناصر.
Excellent. Well done, mashallah. Really happy with the way you're reading. So for everybody at home as well, the things that we had to look out for in this verse were the alif mud over here. So 2 second timing had to be given over here. Lam has a fatha, so 1 second. Ha has an inverted dhamma, so 2 second elongation over here. And then over here, we have alif mud, alif mud. So again, 2 second timing given to each of those, okay? So can you read that for me one more time?
فما له من قوة ولا ناصر.
Excellent. Well done. Just one small thing you have to take care of. Over here, this vowel has a shadda, but it also has a fatha. Okay, now fatha produces a sound of only 1 second. So we're going to say qawwa.
قوة.
Yes, well done. So when you read it, you elongated the quwa sound out for a bit too long, okay? So be careful with that. But mashallah, well done. Really, really nicely read. Now in this example, in this verse over here as well, we have a noon sakin. Okay, so now, like I said before, whenever we see a noon sakin, we have to look at the next letter and see what letter it is and if whether it's a letter of the throat. Okay, so the next letter over here is qaf. Can you tell me, is qaf one of the letters of the throat?
No.
No, excellent. So looking at that grid once again, we can see that qaf is not one of the letters of the throat, which means that we don't have to produce a clear sound over here like we used to do before. Okay, so one more verse with yourself. We'll start from here. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجْعِ.
وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجْعِ.
Okay, good, well done. At the end over here, how we're going to end our sound is by saying tirraja.
Tirraja.
Yes, slight ayn sound at the end. Okay, tirraja.
Tirraja.
Good, well done. Okay, so it's a difficult sound to make, but like I said, with practice it can get better. Okay, well done, excellent. So in this verse over here, we did elongation of at least 5 seconds on the for this sign over here. Over here we have alif mud, so we stretched for 2 seconds over here, and then at the end we have to make sure that we're producing an ayn sound as we're joining these 3 letters together. Okay, and one more verse. Please follow after me. وَالْأَرْضِ ذَاتِ الصَّدْعِ.
وَأَرْضِ ذَاتِ الصَّدْعِ.
Okay, good. Well done. So over here, we have to ignore this alif in the middle. Excuse me one second. So this alif over here, we have to ignore in our recitation, in our sound. And we have to straight away join the vowel to this lam over here. Okay, now this sign, this shape over here is quite common in the Holy Quran. So this portion of this shape is a lam, and this portion over here is an alif. Okay, so the first thing that we have to pronounce is the lam sakin, and then we'll move on to the alif with the fatha. Okay, so this vowel joins onto this lam. Wal.
Wal.
Yes, excellent. Wal ardi.
Wal-arzi.
Di.
Di.
Yes, it's a heavy, thick sound. Okay, so wal ardi.
Wa'al-ardi.
Okay, so just listen to me carefully. This is wal.
Wal.
Yes, so the 2 letters being joined together are the vowel and the lam sakin. Okay, so like I said, this sign over here, let me quickly just change my icon to a hand so you can see it better. Okay, over here, this is a lam. Okay, this is an alif. So with this shape over here, the lam sakin comes first because in Arabic we read right to left. Okay, so this lam sakin appears first, and then this alif with the fatha is pronounced second and joined onto the ra sakin. So over here we would pronounce the waw with the lam sakin. Wal ardi.
Wal-ardi.
Excellent. Dhati sad'a.
Dhati sad.
Okay, same thing applies over here that we did over here. We have to produce a slight ayn sound at the end, okay? This sad'a.
Tisad.
Good, well done. So joining the sad to the dal first and then the ayn sound, okay? This sad'a.
Tisad.
Good, well done. I know it's difficult sound, but I hope everybody at home, even though I can't hear you on the mic, I hope you're all practicing along with me, okay? Well done, excellent. G2 186, really happy with the way you recited today. Just keep practicing, okay?
Okay.
Well done.
Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah, Allah Hafiz. If we can have one more student on the mic, please.
G2 173.
Jazakumullah. G2 173, Assalamu alaikum. G2 173. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Okay, perhaps we can move on.
G2219.
G2219. Assalamu alaikum. G2219. Assalamu alaikum. Please accept the request to unmute. Can you hear me?
I'll move on. G2110.
G2110. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. How are you finding the class? Are you understanding the rule of ghunna?
Kind of.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to practice that now, because in the next verse we have a letter, a noon mushaddad, so means we have to produce a noon ghunna sound. Okay, so this is the next verse, and I'll recite it in just a bit. So in this verse over here, we have to take care of this noon mushaddad. Okay, it's a noon with a shadda. I know it's slightly blurred on the text, but this is a shadda. Okay, noon with a shadda means that this is a noon mushaddad. So we have to produce a noon ghunna sound, which we have to hold in our nose for 2 seconds. Okay, so can you read Ta'udh and Tasmiyah for me first?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Good, excellent. So over here, the first thing we have to take care of, like I said, is the noon ghunna sound. So we would pronounce this as inna.
Inna.
Excellent, well done. Okay, so that's the rule. Quite simple, okay? Whenever you see a noon mushaddad or a meme mushaddad, you have to hold the nasal sound or the ghunna sound in your nose for 2 seconds. Okay, that's the rule. So in this verse also, we have to take care of the following things. Let me just get my highlighter. The ha has an inverted dhamma, so 2 second elongation over there. Lam has a fatha, so 1 second elongation over there. So that's the timing that we have to take care of. Okay, so I'm going to read this verse and then I want you to repeat after me. Innahu laqawlun fasl.
Innahu laqawlu nufas.
Okay, good. Well done. Really good attempt. Over here, you got slightly stuck. I can see probably why, because the text is slightly blurred. So on top of this lam, we have a dhammatain. Okay, dhammatain is part of the tanween rule. So this will be pronounced as lun.
Lun.
Excellent. Well done. إنه لقول فصل.
Innaku.
Inna. Put this. Yeah.
Laqawlun fasl.
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 Good. Excellent. Well done. Remembering that ghunna sound over here as well. Okay. Innahu.
Innahu.
Excellent. Well done. Good. Okay. So at least 2 seconds should be given to this noon ghunna sound. Well done. Let's carry on to the next verse now. Okay. Over here, this will be alif mad over here after the meme. So 2 second elongation should be given over here. Ha has a dhamma. Vav has a fatha. So both of these letters should be given 1 second timing each. Okay. So let's read this verse. وَمَا هُوَ بِالْحَزْلِ.
Wama huwa bil hazl.
Good, well done. Excellent, mashallah. Really good attempt. Okay, really nicely read actually. So one more time, follow after me. وَمَا هُوَ.
وما هو
بالهزل.
بالهزل
Hazl.
هزل.
Yes, okay, good. It's a difficult sound to make, but the more you practice, the better it will get, and the smoother it will get as well. Okay, well done. Let's move on to the next example, next verse now. Over here, we have noon mushaddad. Okay, so noon mushaddad means we have to produce a noon gunna sound. Okay, so we're going to say inna.
إن
Excellent, well done. Now over here we have a ya mad, which means we have to stretch the ki sound out for 2 seconds, okay? Over here we have vaw mad, again 2-second rule needs to be applied over here as well, okay? So we're going to say innahum yakiduna kaida.
إنهم يكيدون إنهم يكيدون كيدا.
Excellent. Well done, mashallah. Really nicely read. Really, really good. Okay. But of course, the more you practice, the smoother your recitation will get. But individually, you read every component really nicely. Well done. Let's do one more verse. وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا.
وأكيد كيدا.
Okay. Slightly confusing between these two. This one is a ya mad. Okay. So we're going to say akidu.
أكيد
And this is kaida.
كيدا.
Excellent. Okay, so pay close attention to the rules as we read it, okay? وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا.
وأكيد كيدا.
Perfect. Well done. You're reading really nicely. And let's do the last verse for this surah, okay? فَمَهِّلِ الْكَافِرِينَ.
فمهل فمهل الكافرين.
Well done. Excellent, mashallah. So over here, we took care of the fact that there's a vertical fatha on the kaf. So we stretched for 2 seconds. And then over here, we had ya mad. So we stretched for 2 seconds as well. Yeah? And then over here, let's carry on. Amhilhum ruwaida.
أمهمهم رويدا.
Well done. This is a lam, okay? Amhilhum.
ألهمهم أمهلهم
Ruwaida.
رويدا.
Well done. One more time. Amhilhum ruwaida.
أمهلهم رويدا.
Perfect. Well done, mashallah. Really happy with the way you read. Just keep practicing, okay? Okay? Inshallah, inshallah. Okay, well done. Excellent. Jazakumullah for your participation. So, alhamdulillah, we managed to cover the whole of the surah today. So, your homework for today's class is as follows. To practice Surah At-Tariq, that's chapter 86 of the Holy Quran, from verse 1 to 18. Okay, so we hadn't written it over here because we weren't sure where we'll get up to in today's class, but verses 1 to 18. So the whole of the surah, please practice that as your homework, making sure to remember the gunna sound whenever you see a mim mushaddad or a noon mushaddad. Okay, so apply all the rules that you know and use the PDF or your own Holy Quran to practice this surah. Okay, remember the steps to produce and the nasal sound, nasalization that we've covered. There are 5 steps that you have to take care of. So please apply them whilst you are going through your text. Okay, so that's your homework, inshallah. It will be shared with parents in the parents group. So we will end the class with the dua, and because we are nearly at the end, I'm going to recite this prayer by myself, and if I could request everybody at home to please recite alongside me. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم. O Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran, the Great. Okay, so that was the surah for prayer after reciting the Holy Quran. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us for today's class. Please make sure that you do your homework, and inshallah we'll speak to you all again same time tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.